Welcome everybody to week 2 of the World Doom League here. I am your commissioner and broadcaster tonight, Ralphis, and I am joined by a fellow league administrator, KBlair. Hey KBlair.
Hey, what's going on? That's my first game of the season, so it's about midnight Eastern time, so I'm slapping the neck a little bit, but glad to be here.
Yeah, well, welcome back. We know that anyone that watched the last few years of these broadcasts has definitely heard Blair on part of those broadcasts, providing his wonderful color commentary. And we're looking forward to having a little bit more of that. So, we'll talk about this game a little bit here tonight. A late night game for some of us in the continental United States. Early game for our European friends. We have Rip and Tear versus Super Shotgun Spurs. This is a tale of two different teams when you kind of look at what happened in week 1. Rip and Tear, they had a pretty lousy showing the first week out. We talked about that last night on the WDL radio show, which you can check out at our YouTube channel. And you can see all the past game replays there as well. But if you want to go check that out. They didn't do too well last week. They're looking to rebound here. Captain Stahl is got a pretty good team, but they haven't been able to put anything together. Skull Rush, Disparel, probably the starters here. We did see Dosu come in for a round last week, so it's possible he could show up here tonight. We're not quite sure who's going to be the starters, but one thing we do want to note before this game gets started is that Rip and Tear, unfortunately, Disparel was unable to upload one of his demos, which is a league requirement, so they're going to eat a penalty here in the first round, which is going to be they're going to be down a man until either 3 minutes pass, in which case their third player can come into the game, or they're scored on, and then their third player can come into the game. So that's probably going to be a problem for them early in the game on, but this is a pretty open map, so going down one might not be catastrophic. On the other side of the field, you got the Super Shotgun Spurs led by Hate Daddy. They had a great first week against the Sexual Panthers. They were able to win in 2 rounds. They're sitting at the top of the league right now, tied with 4 points in the number 1 spot. Ed had it coming off another great season last year. Kind of looks just like where he was. Hate Daddy looking good, and Azrael looked great last week too. They all had big frag power. They really controlled mid. This is going to be a little bit more of a conventional map this week, so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah. The Sparrow causing the power play. That's going to hurt them a lot. Unfortunately, fair is fair. The league is a lot of integrity. We need those demos to come in so that we can, make sure that players are true to their non-cheating vows. So fair is fair. On the other side, but for Rip and Tear, going 0-2 is in a 5-week season is very bad. You do not want to be in that position. On the other side, the Super Shotgun Spurs going up 2-0 is a great position to be in the league. So, lots riding on this game for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing with a 5-week regular season, when everyone's trying to compete to get in the playoffs, winning those first 2 weeks is a pretty good way to make sure that you're very likely to end up at least getting a spot in the dance. So look for the Super Shotgun Spurs to come out swinging. It looks like they've been practicing a lot this week. One thing that we talked about last night on the weekly recap show was, we've seen this kind of situation where some teams are practicing a lot more than others, and Rip and Tear, we're not seeing them in the servers nearly as much as teams like SGS, and so I think we're probably likely to see a situation where the Spurs might just kind of overpower them again. Hopefully, that's not the case, because Rip and Tear has the talent. They have all-star players on this team. Looks like it's probably going to be Stahl, Disparel, and Skull Rush playing tonight. So All three are all-star players in this league traditionally. They could win any
Yep.
game. So it just comes down to preparation and are they prepared to play this new map? This is never been played in the WDL before.
Yeah, the days of teams just rolling into servers with no practice and dominating are long over. Like the teams that win are the most prepared. And I mean, it's hard. They have 4 players. Riptera has 4 players that are from completely different countries. It's going to be so. That's just a logistical nightmare to get players together to practice, let alone games.
For sure. And I think the trade deadline is looming over the league. For those that are kind of new to the WDL, kind of want to know what's going on, you can head over to doomleague.org. You can look at all the matchups, the schedule. The way it works is we have a 5-week season, and the teams get matched up, and points are awarded based on how you perform in your games. A 2-round win, you receive 4 points. 3-round win, you receive 3 points. A tie, you receive 2 points. A 3-round loss, you get 1 point, and if you lose in 2 rounds, you get nothing. So it's all about getting those points so that you can get into the playoffs, where then it becomes winner take all. You win or you go home. So, I think what we're looking at here is Rip has to do something tonight. They absolutely have to do something. Their backs are against the wall, in my opinion. It's only week 2, and it still feels so dire. The trade deadline is going to be next Wednesday. Teams can trade with each other. Rip does have the number 1 home field pick. They can put that in a package with a player and send it to another team. It might not be the worst idea if this doesn't work out tonight, that they're going to start looking at possible trades. But hopefully they can just pull off a win. I'm certainly rooting for them, but as the underdog in this game.
Yeah, winning fixes everything, and they would be much more inclined to go with the current roster if they can just pull out a win here against a strong-looking Super Shotgun Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs right now, possibly one of the favorites in the league, I would say. Right up there with best ever. And sorrier for Plex, who also had a pretty good showing last week. Tomorrow, there's going to be a triple header. Head on over to doomleague.org to see those times. Also, before we get started, I want to encourage anyone new, if you're in the Doom Central Discord, head on over to that WDL betting channel and check the pin, and you can register and you can start kind of having fun and just betting on these games. It's play money, so there's nothing really at stake, but it's fun to kind of to play around, and we've been doing that for a few seasons. Right now, I'm looking at the lines in there. It looks like about 67% of the money is on the Spurs in this game, with $69,000 roughly on them, $34,000 on Rip, about $100,000 in the pool. So a big pool, a lot of people looking for payouts here tonight. Should be a lot of fun, and it looks like these guys are about to get going here. So, any predictions from you, Blair?
Yeah, I would love to see Rip at least take 1 round here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Super Shotgun Spurs are going to take this 2-0.
I'm definitely trending that way. I'm thinking that we're probably going to see a big Spurs win here. And we're going to start out looking at Haight, the captain of the Spurs, kind of see what he's up to here. Right now, see, look how quickly that happened. I wasn't even able to get the camera on. Ed, Dr. Noob, scores immediately, 20 seconds into this game. So that's a problem already for Rip. But, they were in that penalty, and their 3 players are in the game now, so they may have just given that up intentionally just to say, hey, why drag this out?
That's what it looked like to me. They're going to intentionally lose a flag so that they can get the Sparrow in quick as possible. So, interesting strategy.
So we're going to take a look at Skull Rush. It looks like he is going to be running here for Rip. See if he can generate any sort of pressure. This is an interesting map because a lot of maps are symmetrical, but this map is actually weird. So the 2 bases are not identical. Or at least they're flipped. You do have to go each direction, so it does kind of pan out Rush going to try and jump down here. He gets a good kill on Azrael with his defense for the Spurs, but he's taken down. Hate, meanwhile, gets out of the lift. And he's able to get a quick run. He gets snagged on the wall, but he puts one on the stand. And already we're only 80 seconds into this game, and Spurs are up 2-0. What do you think Rip's going to have to do here to turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, that was a good run by Hate. He covered himself, and that was all he needed. I mean, the Spurs are going to need... I mean, the Rip's going to need to get offensive pressure. They're not really getting much.
Right now, Skull Rush makes it across. 10 health. He's able to grab so you queued him up. Skull Rush, he said, I heard you, Blair. Thank you for the comments. And Skull Rush is able to drop back. Now the Sparrow makes it across. Take a look at the Sparrow here. All of Rip pushed back on their side of the base. And this is an interesting mid because it's wide, it's open. If your team is coordinated, you can kind of see where everybody's at. You're able to make calls to your teammates.
Yeah, Dr. Noob with very good chain gun aim there in mid. He's pretty deadly with it.
We'll take a look at Dr. Noob. It looks like he's going in for a run here. He misses the flag. Way down, tries to grab it. He goes back there. He's in a battle here with Stal, 2 top fraggers in this league. Doesn't kill Stal. He is able to step in and help out. They almost are able to train the flag, but Rip gets a great turn. So they kind of stabilize things. Things have slowed down. Rip is kind of taking, I wouldn't say control, but they're making the fight. Now Skull Rush has his hands on the flag. He's out the mid. He drops the lift as a misdirection, but it does not work.
Looked like he fooled 2, but he did not fool 3.
Yeah, and that's one of the consequences of just having this wide flag. So Skull Rush gets another touch here. Skull Rush getting a lot of pressure so far in this game. We're just going to keep our eyes on him because he seems to be the player of the moment right now. You see he's cutting these perfect angles into the base. He grabs the flag. He's almost
Flag dropped.
Right now, frags between both teams pretty even, 52 to 49.
Flag return.
Yeah, since Rip scored, you're seeing Super Shotgun Spurs playing a lot more back. It sort of reset their defensive position.
Skull Rush is able to make it up to that top half. He has pretty low health, and he's fighting Azrael. Azrael's able to return that flag. We're going to jump over and take a look at Azrael. He's playing defense. What a season for Azrael so far. That first week he comes in, he starts again. 2 years ago, right? 2 seasons ago, he was a starter. And he had a pretty good breakout rookie season. And then some people may have thought of a regression last season when he kind of was more of a fourth bench role player. So he's getting another chance here and making the most of it. You can see that he's pursuing. And one thing you saw there, from Azrael's point of view, is that he was killed by the flag runner. But unlike last week's map where the runners kind of get dumped back out in the middle of the map, here a lot of them are put back in the base. So he gets a second opportunity to get that defense. Sometimes it's in your favor to continue to frag and get yourself closer to the flag with more health.
Yeah, Azrael doing a good job here on defense.
He's doing good reads on Skull Rush here. Skull Rush is able to beat him and make it out. Return. Now Stal train behind him here.
Yeah, it's good to get contained by Rip. That was a very good touch by Stal.
Now Stal trying to get a kill here on Hate, but he's unable to get it.
Flag return.
But then Stal is able to get that return.
Yeah, neither team wants to be the next one to give up the next flag.
Yep, and we're about halfway through this first round, too, so... I think right now Rip looking a lot more like what people expected they might in the preseason. A lot closer than last week's game.
It's a very good showing against a very good Super Shotgun Spurs team.
So right now the Sparrow has his hands on the flag. He gets out to mid with full health, but he takes a big chunk, 80 damage, and he goes down. Skull Rush, grab from behind. So it looks like right now Rip's strategy is kind of, we're going to get 2 people in there. The first person is going to grab that flag, run out to mid, scramble the defense. The second runner is then going to get a clean touch at the flag, and then they can kind of make their decision on what they want to do. But against a team like the Spurs, it's still a tall order because they just have so much power. Hate makes it across mid. Ralphis is taken down by Ed.
Yeah, those 2 members of Rip just hanging out in the mid for him.
Flag dropped. Flag returned. Flag taken. Flag drop. Flag returned.
Let's take a look at Ed here. All 3 of the Spurs have their own base.
Yeah, they're very afraid of anybody being behind. That's Skull Rush for you.
Yeah, Skull Rush has a great touch right here. He gets favorable spawns of the enemies. He gets cover in mid. Gets one to beat. He's unable to beat them, but Sparrow's able to get that pickup, put it on the stand, and tie it up. So about a quarter of this round left. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. 2-2 score. This could go either way. Pretty impressive when you consider that Rip started this game down 2-3. That first flag. For all intents and purposes, at full strength, they've outscored the Spurs 2-1.
Yeah, it was a good idea to give up that flag in 20 seconds to get to full strength. Gotta give it to him.
Flag return. Flag return.
So Ed has the enemy flag.
Return.
Doesn't even make it to mid. Meanwhile, the Sparrow faced with the same problem on the opposite side. Neither team ready to let up here. In terms of frags, the Spurs have pulled ahead just a little bit, 127 to 117, but still not a very large gap.
Oh, man.
Both teams had an opportunity to score there, but
And he did.
Oh, he does. He made the score. Wow, so the Spurs, in the midst of that chaos, put that flag on the stand, and Rip had a chance here, but Hate with a huge return. Both of his teammates were killed.
Flag dropped. Flag returned.
But he was the only one left in position to make that play, and he did so. So the Spurs, with 1:08 on the clock.
That was Azrael with the final capture there. It was a really nice play.
Dr. New has the flag with 5 left. He gets a nice wall run. Get a little speed across the top. He's unable to make it out.
Blue flag returned.
Now you're starting to see Ed, Dr. New, drop back, play a little bit more defense, try and run this clock out on this round. He gets the soul sphere as well. 40 seconds on the clock. He decides he's going to go for a run with that sphere. And Hate is able to get out that lift that was dropped for him. They get the double kill. And this is a big opportunity for them to put it on the stand. Yep, put it on the stand. Skull Rush tries to make the save, but he's unable to get around that corner. So that's something really impressive happens here. It looks like the Spurs are going to take this first round. But a pretty decent showing by Rip. I think that they can easily turn this around in the second round.
Flag return.
I just hope it doesn't take the wind out of their sails. To be tied while you were down a man, that's huge. But then they just got 2 unanswered. So as long as that doesn't take the wind out of their sails, I think that they're going to be fine. They need to go into 3 rounds. They need a point.
Yeah, they absolutely need to get a point on the board here. And we're going to see if they get a chance to do it. So the end of round 1, the Spurs continue their dominance so far in the league. This technically puts them at number 1 in the league, even though there's still some games to be played this week. Can they get the full 8 points? Can they get the 4 points from this game and keep it going? We're going to find out in 20 seconds here.
Yeah, that would be great for them. Pull away from the pack a little bit. Make these future games not so important. But, it's far from over. So
we're going to jump right into the second round here. we're going to take a look at Stal. See what he's able to do for his team. He's able to kind of stabilize and Skull Rush in a position where he can comfortably run.
Red flag return.
Right now, he's
Sparrow.
pushed up pretty well. They have them pushed into the base. The Rip is doing a decent job. And they're going to need to because they are down one. Spurs won the first round.
Flag return.
They need to do something.
Flag
They
return.
need to at least get a tie in this round to get some sort of points on the board.
Yep, being ahead in the count, the Spurs can just grab one flag and play super defensively. So, very important that Rip gets the first flag here.
Red flag taken. Red flag returned. Blue flag dropped.
Hate's out.
Red flag taken.
Or, sorry.
Skull Rush almost made it out. Hate is actually out. He's unable to get across through mid. But they do get a pickup. Unfortunately,
Flag return.
Ed gets blocked by a teammate, drops the flag below. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Happens in the chaos as everyone's scrambling for that flag.
It's the worst. You get blocked by a teammate on the bridge and he doesn't get the flag.
So right now, Skull Rush has a pretty good pickup here. He's got 45 health. He makes it out to mid. He's going to have to contend with some opponents, you would think, but he doesn't.
Blue team's
He makes it across. Great mid cover by Rip. They were able to clear out the lower mid and let Skull Rush get a little bit of health, walk across, and put a flag on a stand. So, for the first time so far, right, Rip is out ahead.
return.
They kind of are controlling their destiny here.
Yep, this is exactly what they needed to start this round.
We'll take a look at Hate.
A little slower pace. 2 minutes in already.
Oh, and a great dropping of the lift there by the Spurs.
Drive return.
Rip was able to read that play. It was great support. You know, the Spurs did everything right. Sometimes you can do everything right and still come up with a loss situation. So if the Spurs keep going to that well, though, I think that's going to be successful for them.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, there was 2 runs in progress, so everybody was in mid already.
We're going to take a look at the Sparrow. Who is playing mid. He looks like he's trying to clear it out. Skull Rush. He's able to grab the flag on the other side. He gets great cover coming across. He has a lot of health. He's able to put a second one in the sand. So, Rip responding.
Yeah, he put some great moves on somebody in the SGS base.
Dr. Noob has the flag. He's able to pick it out. He does get some cover from his teammate, but
Red flag taken.
unable to make it out to mid. Skull Rush, meanwhile, has a decent amount of armor, but not a lot of health. He drops the flag before he's able to make it to his base.
Red flag.
The tempo is starting to pick up a little bit here. Both teams starting to send a little bit more offense. It seems like possibly what's happening is that the Spurs are starting to push a little more, which is causing Rip to grab the flag a little more than they were before. So
Flag dropped. Flag.
you got to start to wonder if possibly the Spurs are going to overcorrect early in this round. And that's going to cause some sort of leakage. Hate is able to almost make it across. Azrael gets the pickup, but their flag is taken and returned.
Oh!
Azrael almost missed the stand with 5 health. He was blocked, but he was able to put it on, gets a score. So the Spurs are able to put one on the board, 2-1, and they are able to return that flag in mid. So all flags are at home. The score is 2-1.
Flag return.
Exciting round so far. Only 5.5 minutes left.
And once again, pretty even
Flag
in
return.
terms of frag power. 72-64. That's not a huge discrepancy here. 5 minutes in.
Blue flag dropped. Blue flag return.
Rip looks like they're getting it together. If they're able to just put another one on the board here, they might be able to change what the Spurs are doing. Skull Rush has the flag for Rip, and Ed has the flag for the Spurs. Skull Rush being pursued by 2 defenders. He's able to take one down, but unfortunately another one spawns behind him.
Yeah, I was just unlucky.
That's just Doom. You know? That RNG, that random number generator on the spawn. Sometimes it's in your favor. A lot of times it's not.
There's multiple slot machines going at the same time.
So right now, Skullrush gets a great kill on Azrael, but 8 is there to back up his defender
Drive return.
and stop Skullrush from making that run.
What I've noticed with SGS is that they're starting to combine in mid, make sure there's 2 players before they push. It's a smart tactic. But it can also lead to somebody getting behind you.
Red flag return. Red flag return.
Hate looks like he's been playing pretty fluid mid, where sometimes he'll start to push. He does a lot of coming back to help Azrael. So he's kind of all over the field. He's kind of the key to the game with this one.
Game manager hate.
Red flag return.
So 3 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock. If you're just joining us, this is the second round. The Spurs were able to take the first round away from Rip. And Rip is responding in time. They're up 2-1 here. Looking to push this to 3 rounds and get away with a win here tonight. Skullrush with a undetected touch on the flag, but Azrael's there to meet him. Skullrush is able to take him down. He's able to get another kill in mid. Makes it across. Is he able to put him on the stand? And he is. So Skullrush gets a lot of support from mid. Rip supports their runner. They go up 3-1.
Flag drive return.
Good return there by Skullrush as well.
Flag return.
What do you think we're seeing different here this round compared to last, compared to what we're seeing in the mid?
I'm seeing Skullrush getting behind a lot. Skullrush seems to be getting behind Azrael and seems to be getting to mid with a lot of health and a lot of armor and not a lot of help from the SGS side. So SGS is going to have to figure out how to balance the offense and defense.
And they're, just as you say that, Skullrush gets an undetected touch. He's kind of waiting for his team to clear mid. And you can see here, Azrael knows where he is, but his team's able to step up and help him. And that's where the Sparrow gets this grab. He picks the flag up. He's being pursued. And it is returned, but it's a perfect example, almost on cue of what you were saying. Skullrush gets behind him, waits for his team to push up. And Spurs are working that lift pretty well, but Skullrush jumps right out over top. I don't even think that they saw him.
Yeah, there's a lot of... He's getting in way too much behind it with just no damage to him. That's not a good, not good, because that's where he thrives.
Now Azrael and Sparrow are going to face each other. The Sparrow wins that battle. The Sparrow has a chance to put this round away. He drops the flag. He's unable to do so. But truth be told, it's 4-1 right now. We got a minute and 30 on the clock. Most likely, we're looking at a Rip win here, unless some catastrophic collapse happens.
Yeah, the map is small enough for 4 flags in a quick succession, but not looking that way right now.
Very unlikely with these types of caliber of players as well. Skullrush is going to just try and put it away. It's only going to make it cross, but Sparrow picks up the flag. Both flags are returned to home. So a minute on the clock. Rip is up 4-1. We're in the second round. The Spurs have won that first round, but it looks like Rip is going to tie it up going into the third round. Pretty exciting here.
Yeah, you love a 3-round game, especially when it's 2 very good teams. It's going to be interesting how SGS adjusts for this third round.
Yeah, what do you think the keys to the game are here on this adjustment? How can the Spurs turn this around in their favor?
They're going to have to play it, straight. They're going to have, Hatred is going to have to play, a real mid and not just be running all the time. He needs to look back. He needs to do damage on Skullrush and Disparel to have any sort of chance to win this third round.
And Rip is able to finish it before the time hits, and pretty impressive. So they're able to tie it up, and the end of round 2, we're looking at 1-1.
They have their point.
pretty exciting. You know, a lot of people, including us and including the weekly recap show, they kind of had marked Rip for dead on account of, you know, not a lot of practice, not a lot of chemistry that we've been seeing so far. But this round, I think they showed us what they can do.
Yep, and the start of next, I believe both teams are going to play it very straight and just play super defensive starting out because nobody wants to go down. This is it. This is third round. This, you know, both teams have a win. This is it.
Yep, and you can look right here at the frags. I mean, it's almost dead even, 154 to 149. So it's anybody's game, and it's exciting going into this third round. And we're going to take a look at Hate and see what he's doing as this round starts.
Red
See if he's
flag return. Blue flag taken. Blue flag
Sparrow
flag
undetected
returned.
touch.
Hate was pushing there. Actually, Hate had grabbed the flag for this
Red
team.
flag
Right now, all
return.
three Spurs pushed into their own base. As we are in this third round, tied up 1-1. It's anybody's game. Winner take 3 points. Loser goes home with 1. Unless they want to split it and tie it.
Blue flag dropped.
And shout out to Rip. I mean, being down the penalty, you know, having a penalty on this this map, and still being tied going into the third round and having a chance to win is incredible.
Yeah, pretty
Flag
pretty good
returned.
resilience from this team, and you wouldn't expect any less, right? I mean, these are experienced players. Snow, Skull Rush. We all have years in this
Red
league.
flag return. Red
They've
flag
had their
taken.
ups and their downs, so they know
flag
they can come
returned.
back from pretty much any situation usually.
Yeah, they're usually very, very just unbreakable in any sort of situation.
So compared to the first 2 rounds, a little slower here. A minute and a half in, no scores yet. Do you think we'll see 5 flags from the this round?
I don't think so. My I called Miss Cleo, got my free reading, and she said that it's going to be a last second flag cap that's going to decide this.
All
Red
right.
flag return.
You heard it from Miss Cleo, one of our sponsors here. Doom Central. I actually think she faced some
Red
sort of
flag. Red
problem.
flag return.
I think she's still in prison, yeah.
Red
Foresee
flag
that.
dropped.
Yeah, you very rarely do they.
So we're watching Stal right now. He's playing a very
Red flag
conventional type of play, just clearing, grabbing a super shotgun, checking the back of his base. You can see right now he's waiting to see if there's any sort of defenders coming in the back. He appropriately detects Ed. 2 players on the top left. He's able to take both down, actually with some assists from the spell.
Yeah, 3 minutes, and like very rare is it a sight to see anybody in their opposite team's base. I say that as he gets a
flag return.
touch as he gets clotheslined by Stall.
Yeah, so 3 minutes in here, and a lot slower than the first round, but Skull Rush is going to try and break it open. He comes out with big health. He's 25 health. He tries to make it across. He's unable to get it all the way. He does get it to the back of his base, but his team is not able to get out and finish it.
It's a nice return by Azrael. Shot him into the wall so he couldn't escape.
So we're going to take a look at Azrael, because he's playing a good position for this round. Trying to stop Skull Rush. He's tracking him right now,
Flag return.
and he gets some assistance.
Yeah, it was a nice return by Ed.
Flag taken. Blue flag drop. Flag
Maybe he's
return.
able to make it all the way. Now you gotta be wondering what both teams are thinking.
Red
6
flag.
minutes
Flag return.
remaining.
Flag taken.
No scores. We're all tied up. 8 makes it out to mid. 70 health.
Flag drop.
He's taken
Flag
down.
return.
Sparrow's able to return that flag.
Red flag. Red flag return.
What I'm seeing from Hate, what I'm liking is if he sees one back, he's running back. If he's, he wants to do damage on everybody that runs back to his base.
And it'll be interesting to check
good.
out those stats into this game to see what his damage dealt is in this round in particular. And if you're curious about seeing those stats, head on over to doomleague.org after this game. Check out all the stats from this matchup. But it looks like Rip might score this. Sparrow makes it across with 15 points. His whole team there to assist him. That was a total team effort. So 5:13 on the clock, and Rip is up. And Azrael's going to try and pull off a little stunt there. He makes it across, but he's not able to get the support he needs.
You better watch out with that. Those defensive running is exactly what Skull Rush loves.
Skull Rush on here grabs the flag. So Rip in control here. 1-0 in the third round. Skull Rush just sized up the enemy line. Back to help him.
Flag return.
I think we're starting to see the Spurs kind of get more aggressive. Are they going to get too aggressive?
Flag return.
After a certain point, you just have to pull the goalie.
I'm not sure we're at that.
That's true. There's 4 minutes left.
Flag return.
If the Spurs can just tie it, they can go back into they can be in control of their destiny again. They can get the tie for 2 points.
Flag runners cross pass. He's able to get that shot off, put the flag in the stands. So now, Rip up 2-0. Maybe now we're looking at desperation mode. It's 3-4 points here in the third round.
Flag return.
And Azrael chases Skull Rush, but not able to get it. Rip has really just kind of popped this whole game open now.
Yep.
It's a tale of 2 games.
Flag drops.
First round.
Flag taken. Red team scores.
Azrael gets 1.
The Spurs are
They're going to need a couple more.
Flag taken.
All the positions are lost. Everybody's just everywhere.
It looks like this game is totally broken down at this point. Both runners do encounter each other's hate is a critical kill, and all of a sudden now the Spurs are right back in it. 3 minutes on the clock, 3-2. The Spurs rattle off 2 scores in less than 50 seconds.
Just like that, they're back in it.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting finish probably. Can the Spurs tie this up? We've talked about this before through the years. What does Rip do? Do they want to lay back and try to defend? That prevent defense because the other team start pushing on you. They get a lot more opportunities to flag touches.
I don't think there's a set answer for it. I think you just roll with what you're feeling.
Right now it looks like
flag return.
the Spurs are feeling they're getting some offense because they are attacking a little bit more fervently than they were earlier. And you can see from Hate's point of view as he goes in here, the enemy team is kind of watching their backs a little bit more. They're letting Skull Rush run free while Stalin and Sparrow regulate the
flag return.
and try to hold off Hate and Ed. With 1 minute and 48 seconds on the clock, that might not be the worst strategy. It seems to be working so far.
Yeah, Hate is
touch here, but two defenders need to beat. Trying to put this away on the other side. He's unable to beat Azrael. Frag's still very even.
It's like 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're coming in for a landing on this one.
Sure does. And, you know, it's time for Rip to lock all the windows and doors.
So, I mean, Dr. Noob had a really close capture right there that would have brought it 3-3. It's going to be hard if they're going to get that quality of a touch again.
Yep, and we're looking at the 1 minute warning here for 49 39 seconds on the clock. I think we're likely to see the Spurs just go all-out offense, and it might pay off because Ed is able to make it across with 15 health. He gets some more health in the base. He's going to have a final battle here with the other flag carrier.
Oh, man.
But Azrael
No
makes
assistance.
it out.
Red
So,
flag.
opportunity.
Flag
Once
return.
again, no, 30 seconds on the clock.
Flag taken.
The Sparrow has a chance to just put
Flag
this away.
return. Red flag. Red flag return.
22 seconds on the clock.
Red flag taken.
If there's ever a time for error, it's right
Blue
now.
flag dropped.
Both teams have the flag. Azrael has the rip flag.
Flag dropped. Blue flag
He
dropped.
has the other flag.
Oh,
Skirmish has an
wow.
opportunity to put this away. 6 seconds on the clock. Are we going to see any last-second returns? I don't think so. And
Wow.
crazy, exciting finish. Possibly the game of the season so far. Rip is able to come out and have a
It's just
pretty good showing.
That was an incredible clutch at the very end of the game. Skull Rush, he knew the safest spot was up the lift because it would take them forever to get to him, and it was, oh man, perfect execution. And Rip took it, even though they have a penalty. That was the only round they dropped.
Yeah, and it was closer than you would have expected probably coming in. So, big credit to Rip. They pull off a big win here. They get 3 points on the board. Everything we were talking about in the pregame, now they can say, okay, our season is still alive and well. Maybe we don't have to start talking about trades. We're right back in the thick of things. Meanwhile, at this point in time, the Spurs, they move up to number 1 in the standings, but that's probably not going to be the case after the other 3 games are played tomorrow. So they're still sitting in a pretty decent spot with 5 points, but interesting. It's one of the better games we've seen. And an
Yeah,
exciting finish.
certainly is. I believe the bettors are going to be upset. But hey, the house always wins.
Big upset. Well, Blair, I want to thank you for joining us tonight for this late night broadcast. We won't belabor the point. For anybody that wants some more information on the league, head on over to doomleague.org. Make sure that you are watching the Doom Central Twitch channel. And if you haven't yet, please follow us because we're trying to get to the follower limit where we're able to open up some more features. So smash that follow button. Remember to like and subscribe. Head on over to the YouTube. Anything else that we want to shill here?
Not that I could think of. Just have a good night.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks, Blair. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Always a pleasure to be able to broadcast to the Doom community these exciting games. That was a great one. Tune in tomorrow. We probably got 3 more exciting ones coming up. If you want to see that schedule, doomleague.org. Go to the Matches tab.